Coming up in the news, the nation's leader in Bimini for a naming and dedication ceremony. The Minister for Grand Bahama getting an update on the transformation and digitization of government services. And police investigating a shooting incident in Bimini. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Megan Shepard. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news tonight, some good news for the island of Bimini as the new government complex was officially opened. It is a project that many Biminites have been anticipating for many years. Work commenced in July of 2015, but came to a halt due to unforeseen challenges. While today, the nation's leader, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis, along with a delegation, traveling to that northern island for the naming and dedication of that new government complex. The building is expected to house a number of key agencies and was celebrated by those in attendance as they say this complex will bring about even more economic activity. Italia Hall has more.
The new government complex in Alistown, Bimini, has been named the George W. Weish Administrative Complex. Weish is a former member of Parliament for the island of Bimini and the Berry Islands. He was elected in 1982. Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable I. Chester Cooper, introducing the nation's leader. Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Brave Davis, reflecting on the history of the government project in Bimini. The Prime Minister says as tourism returns, he wants Bahamians to set big goals, just as George Weish and other parliamentarians did.
Pursue big ambitions that can potentially transform not just your own lives, but the lives of the people of Bimini and the Bahamas. Explore the opportunities in the blue, green, and orange economies, which are key elements of our new day platform. What can you do to create and develop sustainable businesses using our seas and land? How can you harness your creativity and ingenuity to become active participants in the creative economy? As both George Weish and Loftus Roker demonstrated, success may not come overnight, but dreams can become reality.
The Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for national insurance, the Honorable Miles LaRota, providing more details on the government complex. The building is some 18,200 square feet. The total cost, inclusive of construction, consultants, and furniture, is $17.3 million.
The new complex will house the Island Administrative Office, the Post Office, Department of Immigration, Customs Department, Magistrates Court, the Ministry of Tourism, and the local NIB office. This office complex will facilitate the efficient delivery of government services as it will serve as a one-stop shop for a number of services.
Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, the Honorable Obie Wilchcombe says Weish stood with him during his political career.
You have been a helping hand, sir. And today I am so happy. I am so delighted. I feel so great because when this thought came about many years ago, my colleague Minister Fred Mitchell, my colleague Minister at the time, Jerome Fitzgerald, we were all sitting in the place. And when we discussed this many years ago, I looked forward for this day.
The nation's leader declaring the George W. Weish Administrative Complex open. Former Member of Parliament George Weish, noting that he's grateful and reflected on his time in politics.
It was a privilege, an honor to serve in Parliament. And for me, it was a privilege and it was an honor to serve with 4 governors general, including the president government. And I served with 4 prime ministers, including the present one. So if you ask me what was your feat of accomplishment of being in Parliament, I would say I had the opportunity to rub shoulders with 4 governors general who served this country in the independent era and 4 prime ministers. They all were my personal friends.
Government officials were then taken on a tour of the complex. It's Halia Hall, ZNS Network News.
The Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, meeting with the Ministry of Economic Affairs, Department of Transformation and Digitization. The minister getting an update on the digital process that will create a seamless online platform for all major government services. Shashina Rolf-Farquharson has more.
The team from the Ministry of Economic Affairs, Transformation and Digitization Unit paying a courtesy call to the Minister for Grand Bahama as well as the Minister of State for the Public Service to give an update on the My Gateway platform and e-services available. The Transformation and Digitization Initiative aims to make all major government services accessible through online platforms while enabling the ease of doing business. Legal specialist attached to the DTU, Damara Dillette, shares which services are now available.
So currently we have e-services that range from driver's license renewal, requesting certified copies of your birth, death, and marriage certificate. A new one that we've just brought on recently would be the vehicle inspection. So you have the opportunity to make an appointment and have a smooth, seamless process for renewing your vehicle registration. Additionally, we have some services associated with Ministry of Agriculture.
Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Economic Affairs with responsibility for the department, Elise Delancey, says that the team is also on a fact-finding mission.
We have come down to Grand Bahama to find out from you what you need us to do for you in terms of the placing services online that will benefit persons in Grand Bahama, and I'm going to be so bold to say, and the Northern Bahamas, because we have already put up My Gateway, which is the interoperability platform, and so we've come to hear what you would like us to do. Your minister is very excited about Grand Bahama, let me say that, and I say that unreservedly, so I am going to ask her, please, to tell you what she expects of us.
The Minister for Grand Bahama excited about the possibilities and the ease of accessing services online.
There's just so many things that we want to do because, of course, we're considering Grand Bahama the innovation capital of the Bahamas, and so many things are going to be birthed right here. They're also on a fact-finding mission because, of course, there are many stakeholders on the island, and we need to know what services are really required to ensure that it's included on the platform.
Minister of State for the Public Service, the Honorable Pierre Glover-Wool, says digitization is important to the New Day government.
We talk about an e-Bahamas revolution in our blueprint, and we talk about Digital 700, which, of course, the Minister of Grand Bahama spoke about it being piloted here, and the help desk that exists here for the Digital Transformation Unit. So making sure that we're on the ground, fact-finding, recruiting, making sure that persons in Grand Bahama are aware of what we're doing, and of course across the country through the My Gateway platform that we will expand throughout the service to ensure not only the public service, not only Grand Bahama, but the entire archipelago is included.
Now, for more information on the My Gateway and government e-services, you can contact the help desk right here in Freeport at 604-4357 or toll free at 300-5717. Shashina Rolf-Farquharson, ZNS Network News.
The island of Grand Bahama figuring prominently in the office of the Prime Minister's weekly press briefing in the nation's capital. In this report, the press secretary shares a number of key updates as it relates to this northern island. Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Clint Watson, leading the weekly press briefing in the nation's capital and giving reporters a number of updates. Now, one of those updates is good news for the island of Grand Bahama, as he shared that Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, met recently with principals of the Grand Bahama shipyard for a project slated to begin in early 2022.
The Prime Minister met with principals of the Grand Bahama shipyard investment and Royal Caribbean and Carnival Cruise Lines. Can you imagine all of them in one room? They're usually competitors, but on this venture, they're partners. They're all partnering in the expansion and investment of the Grand Bahama shipyard, which is unique. The investment pegged at hundreds of millions of dollars. It's expected to begin soon, providing all approvals are in place. Once completed, hundreds of Bahamian businesses will benefit, as well as opportunities for direct employment with the shipyard. Now, following a detailed presentation by the shipyard on the expansion, both sides discussed critical matters that would impact the project. It's the beginning of many more discussions that will take place to facilitate the expansion. Prime Minister assured the group that the government will partner to ensure the process is smooth.
Now, recently, the Grand Bahama Power Company announced that it had applied to the Grand Bahama Port Authority, its regulator, to adjust base rates. Since then, a subcommittee has been formed by the government. Watson says members met this past Tuesday, and he offered this update.
The good thing about this is the subcommittee, outside of meeting, they've already met with the Port Authority to talk about this and reiterate the position. The government's position is it will not support a rate increase to any portion of the customer base at this time. All right. Now, we're waiting for the 45-day review period process that the power company is going through, and we will see what their outcome is. It is our hope that it stayed. The committee has been very clear and very vocal in talking to the Port Authority about its position, and our position remains just that. And so we'll wait and see what happens at the end of the 45-day period.
And when it comes to the much anticipated update on the Grand Lucayan Resort,
discussions have been happening regarding that. We are expected to make an announcement on that very soon. That's all I want to say on that. Very soon. There has been talks taking place, and the Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Tourism, is expected to address this issue very soon with the outcome.
In news from the crime beats, police on the island of Bimini investigating a shooting incident that took place shortly after 9 a.m. this morning. Reports are that police at the Alice Town Police Station received a report of a shooting incident in the area of Baileytown. Upon the officers' arrival, the initial investigation revealed that 2 adult males were involved in a physical altercation, which resulted in one of the males being shot about the body. The victim was transported to the Bimini Government Clinic in serious condition and later airlifted to New Providence for further medical attention. This matter is under investigation. And stay with us, there's still more news to come right after this break.